If you had the ears and eyes, you had the ears and eyes of everyone in the world, and you could deliver one message to humankind straight from the heart, what message would you deliver?
I stumbled on this year. I don't know why I've made this my kind of motto this year or my word, but joy. Something I've been doing in my life. And maybe if you could start practicing this to the audience. Um, Anytime something makes my heart really happy or makes me smile, friends, family, what they do, seeing something, if I see a bird that I like bird watching now, it brings me joy.
Me too,
Uh,
me too.
we are 80-year-old men, Ryan.
Yeah.
But I will say it out loud. I will say that brings me joy because I want myself to hear it out loud often how frequently I feel joy in my heart. And I think coming off of a year where, we cried a lot, I think that's kind of why I did this to myself. I didn't mean to do it. I just kind of noticed that I was doing it. And I think that if something brings you joy, acknowledge it, say it out loud so you can hear that it brings you joy. Take a moment to cherish the fact that it's bringing you joy, and then quickly you can move on. It doesn't have to be a long thing, but just acknowledging joy in your life. I think that's something I'm really focusing on, and I think everyone could afford to do more of acknowledging the joy in our lives.
Man, we're all human. We're all human. That is the foundation for everything, bro. Like, we are all human.
Well, the one thing that's coming up is if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. And like, if you can approach everything in your life, from like loving yourself, setting boundaries, relationships with others, how you spend your time, like how you show up, whatever, like literally everything. If you can approach it from that perspective, then I think, I don't know, I think the world would be a better place.
One thing I would like to express to people like me is, I think, recognize your privilege. Just recognize it and just own up to it. That's something that in the past year I've really had to do, and I really felt defensive about it at first. And so I think just recognizing your privilege is something a lot of people need to do no matter their situation. So that's something I would really like to express, and I feel like I do express on my social media as somebody who like didn't always recognize it and has had to come to terms with it. That's a big message I would like to put out there is like, you don't have to get defensive, just like sit back and recognize. Then second message, I would say, as corny as it is, just like be authentically yourself. And I know it's so cheesy, but you have this one life, and this might not be your only life. There's reincarnation, you have more lives to live. But in this life, I think in this time, it's so important to find confidence in yourself, like to just find it, because it is there. It is literally there in everyone. Like that confidence is there. And so, but it won't come out unless you fully express everything that you need to do. If you don't fully express yourself, if you don't find a vessel, like how I found dance, if you don't find something to put yourself into, times like this are just going to be even harder for you. And I don't think it's going to get easier. And so, yeah, as corny as it is, just like be yourself.
Trust God or trust a higher power, because that's like, if you look at the nature of everything, it's been organized before you were even born. The world, the earth, whatever, it's billions of years old. The universe is billions of years old. There has to be some type of force that created that. Whether you believe it or not, whatever you believe it to be, trust that force, that whatever it is happening for the best. And so, yeah, trust God and always keep that higher power in mind, and whatever you call it, whether you call it Allah or God or Yahweh or, Bhagwan or Krishna, Jesus, Buddha, whatever you call it, man, just believe in that. Because even at the end of the day, I can tell you, like, face your death and learn about yourself And then, when it's time to die, the only thing that can really, really comfort you in that situation is the belief that everything's going to be okay. And whatever brings you to that, everything is going to be okay, do that, because that's the only thing we have.
We need to evolve beyond human suffering. And we need to evolve ourselves beyond the attraction to human suffering. The stories that currently make the headlines are the hatred that are currently spreading the country, the genocide in Yemen, the Uyghur genocide in China. Any form of discrimination and hatred is what dominates our first and foremost thought. And we are so attracted to any form of hate because it is appealing and entertaining for us. And the current capitalist system, late stage capitalist system that we live in, does nothing but progress that hate. Hate is profitable. Hate gives excuses for corporations to pay African American and minority workers less without any questions from the white majority. Hate gives the military industrial complex more reasons to invade the Middle East because, as a conservative would say, it's raghead people over there and we need to force democracy on them. Hate gives profit to corporations. And the profit allows corporations to then change the laws in favor of themselves. The people, and it does go back to the most famous chant of democratic protest, which is the people united will never be defeated. And that's everyone, every single human being needs to evolve beyond the desire to see human suffering and see solutions, not in terms of their emotional connotation to the word socialism or to their political affiliation or their political party. They need to evolve to the point to see common sense solutions and see the utter pointlessness of the system we currently have and the cruelty that we're currently unnecessarily forcing on so many people. I would say everyone, every single person needs to get themselves up. They need to vote hate out of the White House on November 3rd. That's for the American section of the planet. And for the European and Scandinavian countries, they need to keep on the track they're doing because currently they are guiding the rest of the world in terms of social welfare. Germany just implemented a UBI for the next 2 years because of the Treaty of Versailles can't deploy any military troops. They use their military money on social programs, and they have one of the happiest civilian populations in the world. America needs to accept the fact we're not exceptional. We rank 11 out of 11 for healthcare. We're in last place. In terms of COVID, we have more deaths than China reported official cases.
Wow.
We need to get rid of anti-science in our country. We need to listen to experts, and we need to address these problems, not in terms of partisan politics and corporate money and corporate interest, but in terms of what is best for the long-standing and longevity of the human species.
I really do feel like people have more power than they realize. And I think it's imperative that everybody leans into their purpose, leans into the power that they have, and they make their voice heard. Some people will do that through music. Some people will do that through being an attorney or whatever career path they take. But I do think we have more power, especially collectively, than we know. And I think that come November, we're going to show that collective power. And I think that it's going to be a hopeful, joyful time. And it's going to be a little rough, but it's going to come out on the other side of this thing. And we're going to have real opportunity for change, real opportunity to live the way that we want to. And I'm very hopeful and ecstatic for that day. But until then, we need to put the work in. We need to tell people to get out to vote. We need to tell people look into the issues. But it's going to be some work leading up to November. But I believe it will end in a good place, and we'll move this thing forward. And the American experience will keep going. We'll kind of see how we can shape this thing.